Auschwitz or something, arrested under anti-terrorism laws for speaking out. Yeah? Just an anomaly? How do you know? The people say, oh, if you're doing nothing wrong, you've got nothing to be afraid of. What I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of when our governments change. What happens when global warming gets really bad? Huh? What happens? Think about it. The water starts running out. The oil's going to run out. Think about it. You don't think these governments are projecting themselves? You think these people who have money, who have power, you think they're not projecting forward while we're just eating like pigs and dogs and cows and sheep? Fornicating and drinking and watching TV? Bah! That's what we are. Sheep to the soil. You think they're not thinking ahead? They're thinking ahead. Global warming. 20 years down the road. Oil runs out. 50 years down the road. Let's start putting some laws in place right now. Right? Because people aren't going to be so happy about the inequalities going on. Think about it, people. So what's happened to our society? That the whole world looks and says, wow, this is a model we admire. It's going. And it's still here. We can still fight for it. We still have an opportunity. You know, there are many things. So I am not trying to, say that everything about the West is bad. But the problem is the core philosophy is an issue. The core philosophy is a problem. And I do believe that godless societies, they're doomed. I'm a Muslim, I would love everyone to be Muslim, but I do think this country would be better off with more Christianity in it. When I see a church empty, it doesn't make me happy. Oh yeah, there they go, another empty church. If people don't go to church, they don't have some type of guidance, because we believe. Okay, the Bible contains guidance from God. That's why they call Ahlul Kitab in the Quran, the people of the book. Kids don't even know the I had a group of kids come to visit me in the mosque. I said, who's heard of Adam and Eve? I mean it, just an introduction. You all heard of Adam and Eve, right? 20 kids, 3 of them put their hands up. 3 kids had heard of Adam and Eve. 3. They don't teach stuff like that anymore. You know? Where you tell me, where do they get morals from? Teachers can't teach morality, they're not allowed. Can't tell that's right, that's wrong. Where do they get? Do mum and dad teach them? It's all football and this, they don't even spend time with the kids, it's all the TV. So, yes, there's still good things about the West. Is it possible for one? Yes, it is. Because we don't have to sit here and let this thing get out of control. We don't have to sit there like sheep to the slaughter. We don't have to sit and do nothing. We can do something. And there's other people, Christians, Jews, people maybe who don't even have a religion necessarily. They can see the same things that we can see. We can do something. We can make positive changes. We can change the status quo. We can change the mentality. We can start thinking in a different way. We can do it. Of course we can. We don't have to accept it. So I think, however, one of the things that we Muslims need to learn is those... And I agree with Tony Blair, by the way. Just the way he said it was just, he said the way we will not tolerate intolerance. That's a sort of oxymoron if you've ever got one, right? The contrary, we will not tolerate intolerance. What an intolerant way to say we will not tolerate intolerance. But he's right, in principle. One of the British virtues is tolerance. We Muslims need to learn some of these virtues, of tolerance. Muslims can be intolerant sometimes, no doubt. There's some good virtues there. We should, make capital of those good virtues. But I think as Muslims, to the Muslims in here, if you're from England or if you're not, it doesn't matter. But there's a lot we can do to make, the world a better place and the society a better place. And you start with yourself. The thing is, don't point fingers everywhere and say this person, that. Look at yourself. Look at your own life. Start with yourself. That's where to start. If you can reform yourself, and then your family, and then your friends, right? And you can start doing some things with your neighbours, and that's how you change society. Society is not changed by revolutions and by guns and Kalashnikovs and bombs. That's not how the prophets, they changed. That's not how the Prophet Sallallahu, Prophet Muhammad, he changed society. That's not how it happened. It wasn't like that. It's the people changed. The people reformed themselves. Okay? So we need to start with ourselves. We don't need to be pointing fingers. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look at how we can improve things. I think that was the last question. Yes, I'm a Muslim. I came to UK. Okay, what is the best way? This is a good final question. It's a good question to end on. How do I keep away from the influences, these influences that I've been talking about? The first thing is, do not have a television in your house. Have you seen this? I don't have a TV. Oh, did you see this on the TV? No, I don't watch TV. If you want, go on my blog, www.islamsgreen.org. That's my blog. .com is some talks. And I put a little link to some old film where this guy is telling he's telling about the TV. He's telling it like it is. He's telling about the media like it is. He's saying, switch off the TV now. It's brilliant. Just watch it. Okay? Get number one, no TV. Right? Your life will be enhanced dramatically. Believe me, even if you just sit doing nothing, it's an improvement on the TV. Right? Having the TV is like having a sewer running through your house. Right? I'm not saying there's not good stuff on TV. There is. Right? But you know, you start watching the good stuff, but by 1 o'clock in the morning, they're having open sex, right? Whatever, right? What happened to the good stuff? Right? And in between the good stuff, there's the advertisements as well, which are basically, it's half of them virtually pornographic. And they're all part of that indoctrination. So, you know what? You can live without a TV, believe me. You can live without it. That's the first thing. Get rid of no TV. Why don't you sit and talk? Meet with some friends. Sit and have a chat. Play Monopoly. Play Risk. Well, maybe don't play this. Muslim fundamentalists planning to take over the world. Play Cluedo. But have you ever done that? Sat with your kids, sat together, played a game? Brilliant! Play charades. You know, just get away from the TV. Visit your neighbors, talk to people, read some books. Read. Oh my God. Read. It's the first word Allah revealed to Prophet Iqra. Read. Read, read, read. So much to do. You don't need to watch the TV. Be with good people. My next advice is be with good people. The best thing for you is to be with good people. I don't just mean Muslims. There are many people who are not Muslim, they're good people. You know what I mean by a good person. You know what I mean. Good character, good personality, sincere, kind, clean living. There are people still like that. There are. Okay? Make friends with those type of people. Have good friends. Good friends, if you're together, if you're on your own, and this is the other trick, by the way, of the society. It puts you on the box. It puts you on your own. It isolates you from other human beings. When you're isolated, it's easy. It's easy to manipulate you. When we're together, we're hard to manipulate. And the Prophet said something like that. He said, Shaitan or the devil, he is like the wolf. The wolf, what does it do? He goes for the sheep that's on its own, away from the others. And this society isolates you. We don't even know our neighbours anymore. How can you love your neighbour you don't even know? Who's here? Well, this day, love your neighbour means, oh, she's a bit of alright. That's about as close as most of us come to it these days. How can you love? You don't even know people. Women, old ladies dying, rotting for 2 weeks next door. Oh, it's only the stench that disturbs them.